Hello everybody, it's Ben from the Games Lab here, and today this video is talking about how reviewers bury fairly average games. Now what I mean by this is the mainstream reviewers, once they review a game, say if it's a fairly average game, maybe a 5 or a 6, say if there was some sort of hype behind it, they would drag it down tremendously. For example, let's basically we're just going to kind of IGN's the central point on this mainstream review which I'm focusing on. Take the game Duke Nukem Forever. Right. They went through so many years of development, switch of publishers and all of that stuff. And Gearbox, people think Gearbox made the final product. No, they did not. It was handed over to them. I don't know which developer it was. It may have been 3D Realms still. But they got the product, which was probably 6 years old prior, and they released it. And you can't thank them enough for releasing it, you know, because I think that was really good of them. They didn't have to do that because the hype has sort of died out, but then it came back again, and it went out for a while, and it came back. And people put the blame on Gearbox, and that isn't fair at all, because Gearbox were the ones who just got it released. They gave it that final push to get it released, and you can't commend them enough for that, you know, because people would have moaned either way. Once it came out, as you could expect, it had a lot of hype, and it seemed, IGN seemed as if they were expecting an A-star title, do you know what I mean? Like, when I saw it, one of my friends was, he pre-ordered it, and I said, yeah, it looks like a fairly average shooter, still looks quite fun though. And that was right. It was a fairly average shooter. It had right. I'll get into this in a minute. It was a fairly average shooter. Single player wise, multiplayer was a bit, but it was classic deathmatch multiplayer, which some people may like, but personally I didn't like that. However, if you forget about all the hype behind it, you know, it's an average, fun single player experience. I have had a lot of fun with it. It's one of those games which you can just like sit down and play, you know what I mean? You don't have to think very hard. It's just one of those games which you play by yourself, late at night, calm, relaxed, all good. IGN don't see it this way apparently. They don't care about the fun, you know, they just care about presentation and all that crap shit wank. Of course, yeah, graphics are important. Graphics wise, even though it's kind of washed out grey, washed out brown, it's still at parts a very good looking game, you know. Like at the start when you're in your house in the mansion, the Duke Mansion, it's all the textures are nice, the details nice, it's exquisite in some places, but the actual experience feels a bit old, you know. It feels, of course, because it was made I think 4 or 6 years before, it's gonna feel old. But imagine if it was released then, and compared to the reviews, what would have happened now. I reckon it probably could have got like a 9 or 8, you know, because it was, the interactivity with the objects was kind of, it was a great addition back then, but now it's sort of tedious because it's in most games. But what I'm saying is, like, once the mainstream reviewers rip into the games and they make them seem a lot worse than they are, people watching it, who are they going to listen to, you know? Because if the mainstream reviewers are bashing it, why would people take the chance to buy it? Because they've been kind of brainwashed into thinking it's terrible, when in fact it's not bad. It's unfair to the developers and it's unfair to the fans, because in some ways it's not lying to them, but it's kind of twisting it, because Duke Nukem isn't a terrible game as they make it seem as if it is. Forget about all the hype and just play it. It's fun, you have fun, it's enjoyable. And one thing which they obviously don't take into account is the playtime. Single player's up to, I think, it's quite a long campaign. I think it's 12 to 13 hours. I think. And Call of Duty 5 hours at max. You know, on normal 5 hours at max single player campaign. However, IGN don't take playtime into account. Nope, they just suck off Call of Duty. Sorry for my language, but they seriously they suck up to Call of Duty. Like, there are problems every year which they don't solve. It's the same every year, and they don't take that into account. Like, they don't say, oh, it's the same old code, we're gonna like lower it every year. They just they don't pick out the negatives with Call of Duty. It's really weird. Every single other game, they're too harsh with the negatives. But then when it comes to Call of Duty, you know, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up, and it's just kind of misleading to the watchers. So, what can you do to kind of get past this? Well, what I do is I watch various reviews from non-mainstream reviewers. Just type in, like, say for example, Duke Nukem Forever review, you know, and then if you do the platform specific thing, so say for example PC, it usually comes up with non-mainstream reviewers, which is better because the more you watch, the more the more idea you get of how good or bad it is, and that's good. That's a good thing to do because you get a selection of people's opinions and views. So that all adds up to your own opinion in a way. Ask other people personally or on YouTube. You could just ask them questions. Just be like, oh yeah, what do you think about this game? How's the graphics in this game? Would you recommend this and stuff like that? And also, just take into account everybody has different opinions. I like Duke Nukem Forever. People may not. I'm not a big fan of Call of Duty. You may not be. You may be. It depends. So you just got to take that all in account. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Please comment, rate, subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, thank you for watching.